All right. It's March 7th. First podcast for Grenade Motivation. My name is Joel Grenade. Most of you know who I am. If you don't, just click on my bio. It lets you know a little bit about myself. So what I want to talk today about is pretty much goal setting, right? And the reason I want to talk about the subject is because it's been brought up to me about 2 or 3 times this week alone. So, we're in the first quarter of 2018. That's right. We're already in the first quarter of 2018 and we're about to finish that, right? So, I'm super excited just because 2018 has just been phenomenal so far for me. I love what I do, and it just, we're just knocking these numbers out of the park. So I'm super excited about 2018 myself. But, what I see a bunch of individuals is that they get super excited about the new year coming up. All these individuals that were talking about 2017 and 2018, you haven't seen nothing yet. I can't wait till 2018 gets here. I can't wait till I start doing this and make these changes for 2018. A lot of people have different goals. A lot of people have different things that they want to accomplish that they didn't get to accomplish in 2017, right? Some people had a bad 2017 and said, you know what? They quit 6 months into 2017 and says, I'm just going to wait until 2018 comes, which is always the wrong thing to do, right? So, just talking to these individuals and I've worked with so many individuals in the past, and I love what I love. I really love what I do because I get to work with people. I get to help people achieve their goals, if it's, either in business or relationship. But I love what I do, right? And, one thing I love doing is helping people, just change the outcome of their life, right? They were headed the wrong direction. And not everybody's headed in the wrong direction. Sometimes people just need the guidance, right? Sometimes we're taking too much right turns when we only need to take 2 right turns, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, right? So, but, and I see that usually every year, and it happens no matter what. Every year we come up to a, 2017, 2018, next year it's going to be 2019, about a weekend. Guess what happens? Or 2 weeks in, guess what happens? That goal they had, that motivation they had, that desire they had to achieve that goal is gone, right? That fuel they had in their body, that they were going to achieve this and do this, is gone. So it's mind-boggling just to know how many people quit on themselves. And, I always talk about this because I see individuals that, have so much talent, and I see it. I can just see somebody and like, wow, they have talent. They're going to be great in what they do. And they literally just quit on themselves. And half of the time is because they're going in with the right mentality of they're going to do something great. But what happens is they get discouraged right away. Somebody might just discourage them. Somebody might tell them no. If it's a business, somebody might tell them no. If they wanted to lose the extra 10, 15 pounds, a friend invited them to a happy hour and they had to go because it's her birthday or his birthday. And they broke that strict diet. And then, you know what? I broke the diet. I might as well just stay off of it, right? And it's just crazy how much people give up on themselves so early on. And, that's why I really want to talk today about goal setting, because I think it's important. A lot of people know they want to reach some goals. They have goals in life. I think a lot of, individuals, adults, I would say, have goals. But sometimes they just have it in their mind. And I learned early on from my mentor, one of my first mentors, when he told me, Joel, Joel, what are your goals? And I said, well, I told him this, and this, right? And he says, okay, great. Let me see them though. Do you have them written down? And I said, no, sir, I have everything in my mind. I said, I have a great memory, right? Which was a lie. I have the worst memory ever. So, but he literally said, no. He said, son, that's the wrong way. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have your goals written down, they're probably never going to happen. And he says, and he said, I can pretty much guarantee my bank account on that. This individual made some great money. So I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of took it a little bit serious, right? So he actually, showed me that I needed to write down my goals. So the quickest thing he did, or the best thing he ever did for me, is literally he pulled out his binder, and it was a new binder. Actually, it was kind of cool that he had a new binder. He said, man, I just actually bought this yesterday, but it's yours, and we're going to write down the goals right here. And I'm like, are you serious? And he says, absolutely. You said you had everything in your mind. Write down your goals. And of course, he soon found out that I didn't have all my goals in my mind, because I was all over the place with my goals. And I was just saying I wanted to be rich. I wanted to have $1 million home. And this is years ago, guys. So I was saying all these crazy. I wanted the Lamborghini. Saying all the crazy things. I wanted to travel the world in jets. So. But, those weren't real, they're goals, but they weren't the real goals that I wanted, right? So I had to learn right then and there that the importance of writing your goals down, right? And I'm going to talk to you about that today, is because it's so important. And when you're doing goal setting, you got to have an action plan. You have to have an action plan, okay? So I want y'all to make sure you understood me on this action plan, right? And how to create an action plan, right? So what do we do about going on to creating an action plan? Real simple. I'm going to give you 5 steps, okay? Number 1 is decide exactly what you want. Now, hear me out again. Decide exactly what you want. Now, I'm talking to different individuals. Everybody wants something differently. Not all of us are the same, right? Some of us want our finances to get better, right? Some want our careers to get better. Some of us want our health to get better, relationships, whatever it is. But you have to know exactly what you want. Okay? Be specific, okay, guys? This is a big key right here. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but you got to be specific about your goal. So, for example, if it's to make 10 grand a month, let's just say you have your own business, right? And you want to start making 10 grand a month, right? You got to be specific on your goal. When you want to reach that goal. Is it 3 months from now that you want to start making 10 grand a month? Be specific on your goal, guys. That's so important. That's a crucial key right there. It's because people say, I want to lose 10 pounds. But are you trying to lose 10 pounds in a year? Or are you trying to lose 10 pounds in 30 days? Right? So you got to be specific on your goal, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now you need to know what you're trying to reach on your goals, right? So again, everybody's different. I just talked about this, but what's important to you, right? So make sure you write down what's really important to you, and everybody understands that everybody has different lifestyle. Everybody has a different life. We all come from different parts of the world, but we need to understand that, what's going to benefit you, right? So exactly what you want, you need to understand that, right? Because a lot of people sometimes don't even know what they want, right? They want 100 things, but, it's great to have all 100 things, but honestly, make sure you understand what you want, what's important to you. Number 2, I would say write down your goals on a sheet of paper. Man, this is a huge one. I'll tell you what. It's just mind-boggling that only, and y'all can look this up, only 3% of adults actually write down their goals. I got to repeat that. Only 3% of adults actually write down their goals. That's mind-boggling to me. So it's just crazy that, for those that have children and those that, nieces, nephew, you expect them to do this and write this down and do that. And as soon as we're adults and we're out of our parents' hair, and we just literally just say, okay, we're just going to live it day by day. We're going to just go on, and I'm going to reach this, but we don't even know how we're going to reach it. But, as kids, we write things down, and then we stop writing them down as adults. It just tells me that 97% of adults in America don't know where in the hell they're going. 97% of the adults in this country don't understand how to write down a goal and how to achieve a goal. And now you understand why, the 1% is the 1%. Does that make sense? Because I guarantee those 1% write down the goals, right? So it's just, again, it's mind-boggling that 3% actually write down their goals. Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. What one of my mentors told me, success begins with a pen and a paper and a few minutes of your time. I got to repeat that one more time. Success begins with a pen and a paper and excuse me, and a few minutes of your time. Does that make sense? A few minutes of your time and get a pen and a paper. We all have a few minutes of our time. We all have a few minutes a day to write down goals. All of us. I don't care what your lifestyle is. I don't care what you got going in your life. You have a few minutes. And if you don't have a few minutes, you got to make a few minutes, right? Because you deserve to have a few minutes, right? So make sure you write down your goals on a piece of pen and on a piece of paper. Okay. So real simple. And, people ask me, well, Joel, what do I do here? And it's crazy because so much people are kind of confused. They overthink this. And I'm like, this is not something to overthink. What is the most three important things? I start off with three, guys. There's experts and gurus out there that do this goal setting thing, and they say 3, some say 2, some say 5, some say 1. Listen, I don't have the correct answer. I know that I go for 3 to 4 because honestly, if I only hit 2 and I miss 1, I'd rather hit 2 goals than I only hit 1 goal, right? But I'm usually going to hit all 3, right? So I know my limits. You got to know who you are, right? And I'm going to write those down, and I want to hit those 3. And if I don't hit all 3, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be so close, and I'm going to be really ticked off at myself. But it just pushes me to be greater. You have to push yourself, right? You just don't want to be stuck where you're at. And if you're stuck somewhere that you don't like to be, where you don't like what you don't like to be, where you don't like to be, I'm sorry, you got to make those changes. So the goal setting is so important. You have to write this down. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink of water here. So obviously I would definitely start with 3 goals. And remember, it can be about anything: relationship, finances, careers, new business, anything, right? So weight loss, health, spiritual, that's always a big one, right? So you want to make sure you write those down, okay? What are the 3 most important goals, right? Number 3 is I would set a deadline, right? Set your deadline. Guys, this is huge. They're all big, but this is big. Because, if you don't hit your deadline, you just can't quit. If you don't hit your deadline, set another deadline. Keep going. Do not quit. How much times have I seen somebody with so much